Yo guys, welcome back to the 2026 HTML learning journey, and today we are going to talk about HTML elements or tags. Also, if you are feeling amazing while learning HTML, consider subscribing to the channel and giving a like on this video to support my work. And if you are just starting with this video, I would recommend you to go to the previous video where we talked about what is HTML and HTML document, also how to view the source code of any website. However, in this video I am going to continue our understanding of HTML and talk about what is an HTML element or tag. So let's ask a question that what is an HTML element? And the answer is an HTML element is a basic building block of a web page. It is defined by a start tag, some content, and an end tag. Or in simple words, the HTML element is everything from the start tag to the end tag, such as the heading tag, paragraph tag, etc. So these are some examples of HTML elements such as div tag, which is a container element. Then we have the heading tag h1. This is the main heading element. Then we have h2 tag. This is a subheading element, and then a paragraph tag and the image. So let's look at example of each. So let's add a div tag to our web page. So let's simply write div, which is a container tag, and inside it let's add an h1 tag, the heading tag, and let's just say Shubham compiled tag. So this is our web page main heading tag. Then let's also add an h2 heading tag that just says this is a subheading tag. Then let's also add a paragraph tag here or element that just says this is a paragraph. And below this let's also add another div tag. We can have as many div tags as we want because this is only a container tag. Then inside it let's add an image tag here with the attribute of source. Don't worry, we will talk about HTML attributes in upcoming video. And I have a picture in my HTML tutorial directory called my picture that we can link to our source here. So let's add it here, and let's just close this tag without the width and height attributes. And the image tag is also a self-closing tag, which we'll talk about in a moment. So let's close this tag and save, and let's run our web page here and see the results here. So let's run it. So we have a main heading here with h1 tag that just says Shubham compile tag. Then we have a subheading tag that is the h2 tag, which is defined here. Then we have a paragraph here written inside paragraph element, and then we have a beautiful image defined here with our image element or tag. So we talked about the heading tag just now, that is the h1 tag. Now let's talk about them more. The HTML headings are defined by starting with the H letter and then followed by a number from 1 to 6, meaning H1, H2, H3, H4, etc., where H1 being the most important heading and H6 defines the least important heading. Also, search engines use the headings to index the structure and content of your web pages. Users often skim a page by its heading, and it is important to use headings to show the document structure. The H1 heading element should be used for main headings, followed by a H2 heading, then the less important H3, and so on. For example, H1 should be used for page title, H2 for section titles, and H3 for subsections, and so on. The most important things to note here is that you should only use H1 tag per page. It represents the main topic or title of the web page, and the HTML headings should be used for headings only. Don't use headings to make text big or bold. We have another tags for that. Then comes the HTML paragraph element. The paragraph element simply defines a paragraph in the web page. A paragraph always starts on a new line and is usually a block of text. For example, let's add a few paragraphs in our HTML page. So let's delete all of that and let's add some paragraphs here saying this. Let's just say Shubham compiled tag is amazing, and let's copy this few times so and let's copy these here. And even though I'm copying and pasting the same paragraph on the same line, you will see that each paragraph is starting with a new line. And if I go down below, add some lines, new lines here, and paste a new paragraph here, you will see that there is only one line painted in the web page. So let's save it and look at our web page here. So let's refresh it here, and you will see that there are three paragraphs, each starting with a new line, even though we have pasted the second paragraph just after the ending of first paragraph and the third paragraph below in our index.html file like here, but the paragraph is started with a new line and there are no new lines between second and third paragraph. Also, the HTML elements can be nested, meaning elements can contain other HTML elements inside them. And to verify it, we have already been using nested HTML elements such as the h1 tag inside the body tag, or the paragraph tag inside the body tag, and also the title tag inside our head tag. One important thing about HTML elements is that you have to close every tag you have started, meaning you should never skip the end tag. And this is the error, or I should say bug, that beginners do a lot. Because the way HTML works, that the user browser will often display them correctly even if you forget the end tag. But this can cause a lot of bugs when you start building something dynamic or complex projects. So never skip the end tag. However, we also have some empty HTML elements in HTML5, which is just called empty elements or tags. For example, we have the BR tag, and to show examples of them, let's actually format our code correctly here. Let's move it a little bit up and let's add a new line and let's paste it here. So the first empty HTML element or tag we have is called a BR tag, which is used to define line break in our web page and which is also self-closing. So let's save and open our index.html file in the web browser. So let's go to the page. We can see that we have three paragraphs here, each starting with a new line. But if we refresh our web page here, we can see that there is two line breaks between the first paragraph and the second paragraph. So this means that our empty HTML element, that is the BR tag, is working correctly. And we can add as many BR tags in our web page as we want. So let's copy this and paste it a few times. So let's paste it 4 times and let's just save and refresh our index.html web page. We can see that there is a lot of space, or I should say line breaks, between the first paragraph and the second paragraph, and there is only one new line between the second paragraph and third paragraph, even though I can add as many space or lines as I want in my code here, but this does not work. We can see that there is no change between the second paragraph and the third paragraph, because the way HTML is loaded in the web browsers only add a new line between two paragraphs by default. So if we want to add multiple line breaks in our pages between two paragraphs or any other tags, we can use the BR tag. So let's format the code correctly here and move it up little bit and save and refresh the page. Nothing is going to change. Then we also have another empty HTML element or tag called the HR tag, which is used to draw a horizontal line in the web page, which is also self-closing tag. And to see the example of it, let's add a HR tag between the second paragraph and the third paragraph. Actually, it is HR and it is also self-closing. So if I now save and refresh my web page in the web browser, we can see that there is a horizontal line drawn between the second paragraph and third paragraph. And also we can have as many HR tags as we want in our web page, like the BR tag. So let's copy it 2 times more. So if I now save and refresh the page, we should see that there are three horizontal lines drawn between the second paragraph and the third paragraph. So to summarize, what we have done in this video is that HTML elements are building blocks of web pages. They are created using HTML tags. Most elements have opening and closing tags. Some elements are self-closing and empty HTML elements such as the BR tag or the HR tag. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and comment your curious questions, and also follow me on the Instagram. Link is in the description. In the next video, we will dive deeper into the HTML formatting elements. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Happy coding.